You're such an asshole.
AssholeConsulting.com. We have a request from a veteran. No, he's active. Is he? What is active duty. Okay. All right. I will try and anonymize him because he wants to keep his information anonymous, but then he wanted a video response, so I will try and do this. But anyway, if you're in the military, current or ex-military, you get a significant discount at Asshole Consulting. Dear asshole, please keep your information anonymous. You are neither old nor young, currently active duty in the Air Force. You'll be separating the military after 6 years of service at the end of this year and going back to Universität, which is Deutsch for university. Just to give you a quick background, prior to me joining the Air Force, I was a former student at, should I say it? Because I don't want to identify you too much. A southern university that's very reputable. I mean, not the greatest thing ever, but you guys have heard of this university. It's accredited. Majoring in material science and engineering from 2005 to 2010. Unfortunately, I was unable to finish my degree since I could no longer afford to pay for school. I paid my own way through college with little or no parental help, coming from a small lower middle class family. Rent, food, and living expenses on a measly Walmart salary, even after having to drop down to school part-time. Times were tough, and nothing was more motivating than hunger and a hungry stomach and an empty wallet. You damn right! You damn right! Over at fucking the Village Walk over in Minneapolis, U of M campus. That's the one time I'd afford the Village Walk. This is how bad it cost $5. You could get chicken fried rice. And Christmas time, because they were open, I'd allow myself that treat. Get chicken fried rice. Lots of soy sauce. Hence why I joined the United States Air Force. I would like to go into the reserves after I separate, pending the results of how much disability I will get due to service-related injury. Why is everybody getting injured in the military? Why does everybody I know, I might get disability? I'm looking like, you're not disabled. How are you getting money? What the fuck? My pinky finger out. Not to besmirch you, those of you that actually are injured. I know one guy got hit by an IED. He deserves what? But why is everybody, I might get 20%. How, what? Oh, my elbow doesn't bend all the way like it used to when I was 18. Neither does mine! Alright. My question to you is, what advice would you give a veteran? Oh, wait. Sorry. Now that I'm about to get out of the military, I have the post-9/11 GI Bill. I'll be reapplying to the university for spring of 2019 semester to finish my degree. My question to you is, what advice would you give a veteran in his 30s returning to university after nearly a decade, and how do I inoculate myself from being annoyed by the immature 20-somethings, think late teenagers too, aka the Dudebros? You're not going to run into Dudebros in engineering. They're not smart enough and they're too lazy. And leftists. You're not going to run into leftists. Well, you might, but they'll be somewhat reasonably rational leftists. What pitfalls should I be wary of the second time around? Fortunately, my Air Force career field has given me a lot of time to study and brush up on my former school subjects, so I'm not too rusty when I go back to university. One get a lot of studying done while working when your only job is to sit and watch planes for 12 hours. And you're saying, I don't want to say where you were stationed, but you're saying you would have liked to take classes online, but engineering isn't compatible online. I agree. Look, guys, you could get your degree while you're in the military. You don't have to wait till you get out. That was another thing. Like, if I were to do it, I would have gotten the degree in the military, and they'll pay for a lot of classes. They got what? Some of them have the American base, the American university. It's on base. What else have you got to do? Especially if you're not based. I had a buddy who was based in Italy. Now, if you're based in southern Italy, there's plenty to do. Then I wouldn't recommend staying on base and going. But then you got transferred out to Grand Forks to go look at missile silos. That's when you take classes on base. That's when you're like, fuck this shit. You don't want to go to Grand Forks. Although the girls in Fargo are hot. Don't know why that is. So that's what I would have done. And then when I got out, okay, now I'll go get a master's degree or something with the GI Bill. No reason to wait until you're out of college, out of the military to go to college. After I graduate, I'd like to work for companies such as NASA, SpaceX, Tesla Motors, or Lockheed Martin, just to name a few. Unless I get the opportunity to start my own company and work my way up to being mentioned alongside the likes of Elon Musk. Well, how about you get some working experience first? Let's do the baby degree, job, house, minimalism. And do you really think about this? Do you really want to run a company like that? Do you really want to run a multi-billion-dollar company? That is more than a full-time job. Are you joking? You couldn't pay me enough to run a multi-billion-dollar company. You ain't got time to be you. Look, I'm gonna live just as long as that broad that used to work over at Yahoo and got fired and ran the company into the ground. All right, but I'm gonna live probably longer than her, but I'm gonna work a lot less of my life. I was a lot less a slave than she was. All right, these people throwing themselves. I gotta be a C. There has to be a C in front of my title: CFO, CEO, CO, anything. I gotta be a corporate executive. Like that game is for suckers. You guys, yeah, you go work a real job, not me. Oh, not me. No real work for me. Thank you very much. Nothing wrong with being a nice engineer. You go home at 5 or 6 and you get to smoke a nice pipe or a cigar or something. My personal motto has been keep grinding until your idols become your rivals. An email response would suffice, but I don't mind paying extra for a video response if you think it would be beneficial to people in similar situation. Finally, thanks for what you keep doing. Remember, sincerely, and I will not mention who you are, where you are based, or what you are doing. So, all right, let's get to the questions. What advice would you give a veteran in his 30s returning to university after nearly a decade, and how do I inoculate myself from being annoyed by the immature 20-somethings, Dudebros, and Leftists? All right, then I ask you, from your previous schooling, you should more or less have all your prereqs knocked out. He said, yes, sir, I completed all my bullshit classes early on. Over the years, university has completely revamped the College of Engineering and Science, and since I've been out of school for so long, my credits may no longer be valid, or at least won't count as a liability against me. I'm waiting to hear back from the university about my situation, how I'll proceed from there. Worst case scenario, I'll have to start over. I don't think you have to start over, and honestly, what I would do is if that university is not going to honor your credits that you took at that university, I would start shopping around and finding another program where they will. So you could save yourself a year or two of time. If they make you go all the way back over BS, I would look at Urbana-Champaign, Illinois, go find some other accredited, reputable, Texas, Georgia Tech. Go find some other school and see if they'll take your credits. Because what's wrong? Like what? Engineering's changed so much, the laws of physics and calculus, and you had prereqs. These aren't even your specialized classes that you're taking yet. I don't think you're going to have to worry about it. I think most of your credits will carry over. And at worst, you're going to have to take 1, 2, hopefully no more than 3 liberal arts prereq, propagandist Marxist bullshit classes. All right? So for that token amount of classes, the people you're going to have to do, let's deal with the people you're going to run into. 1, just keep your head down. Pat your professor on the head. Yeah, Marx was a great guy. Kill all the fucking people with penises. Oh my God, the fucking wage gap. Whatever it is, placate them, pat them along. All right? Then when it comes to dealing with Dudebros and leftists, you're going to run into them on the campus no matter what, but you don't have to talk to them. I mean, I live in Minnesota. I could go to the most leftist part of the state right now, go to Uptown or maybe Crocus Hill and say, actually, I was in Crocus Hill not too long ago in St. Paul. I don't talk to these people. I don't talk politics with them. I don't do anything with them. You go, it's like work. It's just like going to work. You're not there to socialize. You're not there to meet girls. You're there to get your education. You go in, and the only time you're really going to run into politics is when your professor is going to bring it up because it's a leftist liberal arts class that they're forcing you to take to keep that worthless person employed. Whatever the professor... Don't listen to what other people... What does the professor want you to say? Pay very close attention to what the professor wants you to say. Regurgitate it, lie. Don't hang out with those people. You don't have to hang out with the kids. These kids are going to talk about how, you can almost make it sport. Like a girl's going to say, men are just so mean and oppressive. Play. See how far you can get the girl, how extreme you can get her to go. Like, should we just enslave men? Be so, I'm with you, sister. Man, even that's too much being a nail that's rising above the board. For whatever token amount of liberal arts classes you got to take, head down, write your thing, don't voice anything, and then go on. After that, you're going to be, the vast majority of your college experience is going to be in the School of Engineering. And there, politics really doesn't play out. Even when I was in college in the business school, now this was before they started forcing diversity and corporate social responsibility and HR and all that other crap down our throats. But there was no leftists. We just didn't. And if there was, their politics was not at the forefront. What was at the forefront was them getting their degree in accounting or HR or marketing or something. So they may have had political opinions, but it did not define them. When you're in engineering, these people are not defined by their politics because they got more important shit going on, namely becoming engineers. And so your professors, your classes, the material of the classes, and your students, even if they are political, they're not going to be audibly political, because that's not what they derive value from. They're real people with real jobs, real futures, real hopes, real production. So I don't think you're going to run into it. But whenever you do outside the School of Engineering, where you're walking there, you see flyers, there's protesters, maybe you take a class or two and there's leftists in there, including your professor. Don't let it bother you. All you have to keep remembering and saying, think about their life. Think about their life. Think about their futures. Think about their futures. Your professors in the liberal arts, those guys are likely adjuncts, and read the article in The Guardian about adjuncts having to blow people in alleys to make their ends meet. Read about, I did a bit on it, it's in The Guardian. Just search Guardian adjunct prostitution. Read that article and read about how these adjuncts, and they're all liberal arts professors, have to live in their cars because they're so stupid with money and they're not making enough. That's the professors. Then think about the kids who are loading up and they know everything. Think about their futures, right? If they really start to know you, just think about their futures. They're going to have worthless degrees. They're going to be loaded with student debt. They're going to be delusional and propagandized and brainwashed to the point they're going to be of no use to anyone. They're not going to be able to find jobs. Their lives are going to be hell. Yes, they might get government handouts. Yes, they're going to get government grants. No, they're not going to produce anything in value in return. But their lives are still going to be miserable. You're going to have a much better life. Just sit there and laugh at it. Like, that's kind of what I do now. I don't try and look for the silver lining on the fact that leftists lead these delusional lives and college kids are so misled and so about themselves. Because I know in the end, I mean, God almighty, I got a degree in finance, and it wasn't this paltry 1 or 2% GDP growth. I graduated in the late 90s, and GDP was growing 3 to 4%. I at least was able to find a job. And that was hard, though. That was hard. I can imagine what your average communications major or history major goes through today in 2018. Especially, I did the math when they paid 4 times the amount in price that I did for a degree.
We just need more money for education. Why is tuition so high? We keep flooding the market with money. I don't know why tuition's so high.
So that's why I don't think you got a big problem. I don't think you got a big problem at all. Maybe if you want to take some classes at night, those are more traditional students. If you could take your classes at maybe a corresponding campus, you don't have to go to the main one. But I think once you get into your STEM classes and once you're taking your engineering classes, you're not going to run into leftists, certainly not vocal ones, and you're not going to run into dude. Remember, a Dudebro is a banker. And bankers go into finance and business because they're not smart enough and they're too lazy to go into engineering. So you are not going to run into Dudebros. You're going to run into some pretty cool, nerdy people. You're going to run into your people. They're going to be way smarter than average. They're serious about their degree and profession, and I would not worry about it at all. But just try to... Look, you went through basic. You know how to let the drill instructor roll off your back. You just ignore it, man. Just ignore it. And if they start to get to you, immediately think, where are they going to be in 10 years? Where are they going to be? She'll be 40, no kids, she'll have cats, and she'll have her doctorate in women's literature, and she'll be miserable, and he'll be still a soy boy, he'll still be a virgin, because he's still trying to say that he's a feminist and put a pink pussy hat on his head. And you'll be sitting there, making about $100,000 a year, working at Lockheed Martin, enjoying the San Diego sun, or wherever the hell you're sent out to. All right, that's it. You guys got questions? Cap's got answers. AsloConsulting.com. Check out the podcast at the Clary Podcast. That's on SoundCloud.com. The blog, CaptainCapitalism.blogspot.com. My books on Amazon.com. That's it. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.